Good morning. I'm working on my breakfast here. David's working.
Say good morning, David.
Good morning, David.
Yeah, I'm gonna have eggs with some broccoli and mushrooms and onions. Kind of make an omelet kind of thing. Top it off with my homemade hot pepper sauce. And I'm about out, which makes me really sad. Which is a perfect time to talk about how we ended up with homemade hot pepper sauce. So we spent most of the summer in the Four Corners area of Colorado. And one of the things we like to do when we travel is, kind of immerse ourselves in the local culture, and food is a great way to do that. And while we were in Colorado, like in late September, mid-September, David and I separately would start seeing all these pepper roasters out. And that's something you just don't see on the East Coast. We were very intrigued by it. We saw it separately, and literally on our last day there, we came across a pepper roaster at our favorite store. If you're ever in Cortex, Colorado, you've got to stop at Pueblo Seed Food. Local farm store. They grow all their own grains. You can get, organic rye, quinoa, millet, just all their own grains. And they also have a bakery and make excellent bread. And if you do happen to stop by, I highly recommend the rye and chili pepper cookies. They're amazing. Anyway, our last day there, they were roasting peppers, and we looked at each other and it was like, all right, this is a sign. We got to get some. So yeah, our last day before we were moving, we ended up buying a half bushel of roasted chili peppers, which is a perfect segue to go back in time. And, look at that. It was such a cool experience. And thank you to Dan for really explaining it to us. So back in time. Boom.
Of course, chili is a Nahuatl word, and so the original spelling is C-H-I-L-I, but these days C-H-I-L-E is the preferred term. It's a way to spell it in the Southwest. The Pueblo chili has been grown in Pueblo, Colorado since about the 1850s, we think. These originally were from Oaxaca, Mexico. Okay. Somehow they got up there real early on in the Santa Fe Trail days. This is a very thick-meated pepper, classic roasting pepper, medium hot heat, also called a guajillo when it's dried, which is one of the real popular ones for red chili sauce. These are what people would mostly call a hatch chili. Okay. Hatch is just a region of southern New Mexico, but it's a pod type chili that was descended from the pasilla chili, which is a mild pepper that grows down on the plant. So these are a little tamer. These have a little more heat and probably more complex flavors. When they start to turn red, they're sweet and hot, and so this is kind of the.
That sounds like the chili.
This is the preferred chili.
Yeah, so the day before we were leaving, you need to pack up the RV. When you stay a place a couple of months, you spread out. We had packing to do, and we came home with a half bushel of peppers. We got back in the car. We were like, we're going to have to can some of these. This is way too much for us. So we immediately went to the grocery store, got some seals, some new jars, sure gel, because we did end up making pepper jelly. It's amazing. Ended up with maybe a little too much pepper jelly. Yeah, and then we came back here and like whole pepper processing facility happened in our tiny little kitchen. We froze peppers, we made pickled peppers, we made pepper sauce and pepper jelly. It was crazy, but yeah, I would do it all over again. That pepper mix, if you are ever in the Southwest, I realize, you know, if you're on vacation, you cannot be buying a half bushel of peppers, but if you're living in your RV and traveling through and you see them roasting some peppers, go get you some. Yeah, I mean, the depth of flavor, this is like the best pepper sauce I've ever had. Anyway, cheers.